Hello and welcome to My Career, My Future. I have started my career back in 2001 with HSBC, and before I came to Dhaka city 1994, and I have been working last 18 years into various organizations and multinational corporations, starting with HSBC, Ericsson, and some other organizations. এই 18 বছর কাজ করে one thing I have learned that is আমাদেরকে প্রতিনিয়ত শিখতে হবে, আমাদেরকে পরিবর্তন করতে হবে, আমাদেরকে অ্যাকোমোডেট করতে হবে এবং কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে আমাদেরকে অ্যাডজাস্ট করতে হবে, বাট নট প্রবাবলি কম্প্রোমাইজ। আরও একটা জিনিস আমি শিখেছি, যেটা হলো যে ইউনিভার্সিটি লাইফে যেগুলো শিখেছি সেগুলো যে আমার জীবনের সব কিছু তা নয়। পরবর্তী জীবনে কর্মক্ষেত্রে অনেক কিছু আমাকে নতুন করে শিখতে হয়েছে, পুরনো অনেক কিছু আমাকে ভুলে যেতে হয়েছে, কারণ সেগুলা হয়তো ভুল শিখেছিলাম, হয়তো ছিল সঠিক ছিল না। গতকাল যেটা সঠিক ছিল আজকে যে সেটা সঠিক হবে, নট নেসেসারিলি, বিকজ চেঞ্জ ইজ দি অনলি কনস্ট্যান্ট অ্যান্ড অনলি সার্টেন। সো এই সমস্ত জিনিস মাথায় রেখে আমি ক্যারিয়ারে অনেকবার হোঁচট খেয়েছি, অনেক কিছু ভুল করেছি। সেই প্রেরণা থেকেই আমি চেয়েছি কিভাবে আমি যে ভুলগুলো করেছি সেগুলা আমি কিভাবে সবার ভিতরে অ্যাওয়্যার করতে পারি, সো দ্যাট আপনি যারা শুনছেন আপনি এই মিস্টেকটা করবেন না। একই সাথে আমি চেয়েছি আরও 60 সিজন প্রফেশনাল এই সিজনে আমি তাদেরকে নিয়ে আসব, তাদের লাইফ থেকে আমি বের করে আনতে চাই কি কারণে তারা ক্যারিয়ারে সাকসেসফুল হয়েছে, সো দ্যাট ইউ ক্যান আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড হোয়াট মেক্স পিপল টু দ্য রিচ, টু দ্য টপ অফ দি ইন্ডাস্ট্রি, টু দ্য টপ অফ দি পজিশন। আর একই ধারাবাহিকতায় আজকে আমি এমন একজন গেস্ট, এমন একজন মেন্টর, এমন একজন কন্ট্রিবিউটরকে এনেছি যিনি আমি বলবো ক্যারিয়ারে ওই পজিশনে যাওয়া এবং ওই সার্টেন ওই কোম্পানিতে কাজ করা আমার জন্য স্বপ্নময়, এবং ঠিক আমি মনে করি অনেকের জন্যই স্বপ্নময়। হয়তো অনেকে আমরা চিন্তাও করতে পারি না, কল্পনাও করি না। উনি আর কেউ নয়, মিস্টার মোহাম্মদ নিজাম উদ্দিন। উনি অ্যাপল কর্পোরেশন, আমরা সবাই জানি অ্যাপল, ম্যাকবুক, আইফোন, হোয়াট এ গ্রেট ব্র্যান্ড। উনি বাংলাদেশের নয়, উনি বাংলাদেশি, কিন্তু উনি কাজ করছেন সুইডেনে। উনি সুইডেনে অ্যাপল নর্ডিক হেডকোয়ার্টারে উনি 6টি দেশের ফাইন্যান্স কন্ট্রোলার, অর্থাৎ চিফ ফাইন্যান্স অফিসার। বিফোর জয়নিং অ্যাপল লাস্ট ইয়ার উনি এরিকসনে 19টা দেশের ফাইন্যান্স কন্ট্রোলারদেরকে উনি সুপারভাইজ করতেন, এবং সেগুলোর ভিতরে আমেরিকা, ইউরোপ, এশিয়া, লাইক ইন্ডিয়া, চায়না, বিগ কান্ট্রিজ উনি লুক আফটার করতেন। বিং এ বাংলাদেশি, being born, being raised, being educated in Bangladesh, how a person could reach towards that kind of position, this is something I'm sure you're looking forward to know. Please help me to welcome Mr. Nizam Uddin.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited
Thank you.
to be here.
বৃক্ষ তোমার নাম কি? ফলে আমার পরিচয়। আসলে এত কিছু বলা লাগতো না যদি শুধুমাত্র আমি একটি পরিচয় দিতাম, কিন্তু এত কিছু বলার দরকার নেই, বিকজ উই হ্যাভ দ্য ফ্রুট ইন ফ্রন্ট অফ আস।
Thank you.
সো আপনার ক্যারিয়ারের এই পর্যায়ে আপনি আসতে পেরেছেন, এই পর্যায়ে আসার জন্য কোন কোন জিনিসগুলো আপনি মনে করেন যে হেল্পড ইউ, কন্ট্রিবিউটেড ইউ টু রিচ টু দিস কাইন্ড অফ পজিশন?
Thank you. আমার ক্যারিয়ারের ওভারঅল পার্সপেক্টিভ থেকে let me summarize it first.
Please.
So I do have some values and values that I always maintain, and I never change that. I don't think you can change your values, right? So the values I carry and I strictly maintain are, first of all, integrity. That's something very simple for me, because for me integrity is what I do today now here in front of the camera. If I do the same when no one is around, that's the integrity.
Yes.
Okay, so in my career, I was the first time in Bangladesh history CFO of Ericsson, being a local person because of my integrity. So I was making decision as if it's my own company, right? So integrity is something that
It was not because of your good grade, good result, or excellent things.
I don't think like grade has anything to do once you come across to some part of your career. Grade is grade and university. Those are important maybe when you try to get into the corporate world. But once you were in a mid-level career or in a senior level careers or C-level careers, I don't think it does matter, honestly. So for me, integrity is first thing. Second thing is I always get out of my comfort zone. And I never stay and connect with my comfort zone. What does that mean is that the thing that becomes routine, I try to change that. And how did I do that? Or how do I do it? Like I'm a professional accountant from ICMEB, a fellow customer management accountant. However, I mostly worked with sales, marketing, HR and cross-functional area. So when I do sales, I just don't attend some town hall meeting or some annual meeting to understand what is sales strategy is. For me, you don't learn what is sales strategy is. You have to go with salesman and sales team member day in, day out and understand the customer needs. And that's how you understand business and sales, right? And a simple question I ask, who pays your salary? It's customer. It's customer. It's not your company. If you don't have customer, your company will not have business and you will not get paid, right?
Right.
So I try to get out of my comfort zone. So that's why if you follow my career, I kept changing position after 2-3 years. And I tried to learn new things always. Third thing, I must say, which really kept me going is I was following basic ICT industry or technological stuff. I try to learn things. I have been investing hours after hours by looking at unboxing video of iPhone, for example.
Okay.
Right? When I wasn't working in Apple, right? Okay. Then I was attending numbers of training session for Microsoft Office, for example, in my earlier days. So I used to call myself Google BPA when I was in Novartis, meaning that I kept changing stuff, right? I kept changing and I wasn't settling with good. I was trying to do something great. I wasn't settling in to be an average, not as a person, in everything I do. So yeah, last one I must say is the focus. I'm a person of focus. I do 100% and I give my 100%. And I love to make mistake. And I always say that if you don't make mistake, meaning that you haven't tried new things. So I love, it's not like I keep repeating the same mistake again and again, but it doesn't matter. So I said in other setting as well, I keep saying no to many things, but when I am convinced to do something, I put my 100%. And I will give a small example. The way I see things is that if I pray, আমি যদি বৃষ্টি হওয়ার জন্য দোয়া করি, আমি বাসা থেকে বের হওয়ার সময় আমি একটা ছাতা নিয়ে বের হই. So that's kind of walk and talk I believe in.
Right.
So these are the stuff I would say is my values. Then the most important part, or also important part, is like professional network. I maintain a very, very diverse professional network. So it's not just professional accountant. I do have professional relationship with industry, different industry. I worked in pharmaceutical industry, manufacturing industry, then IT industry, now consumer electronics industry, and I worked in every avenue of finance and commercial management. So I try to keep a like wide range of professional network to learn and have a good conversation. Not just everything targeting to your gain or my gain. It's more of just to get updated with the things that happens. So I think it's very important. It was very important, still important, is to get updated and remain abreast of the update. Everything happens in business and across the world. And one of the reasons I got in this job in Apple as CFO was I was following Apple since 2007, ever since Steve Jobs has unveiled iPhone, and I was so hands-on and I was so fluid, almost like while talking about company strategy and business. I have been following them. So those are two things. I would say my values, though that's the foundation I have, and that's what is, you could say, my frame. And based on that frame, I try to build on my networks and learn things, right? Yeah, last but not least, I work hard and smart. Both. There is no shortcut in your career.
Hard and smart.
Yeah, both.
What do you mean by smart? Because we know that working hard, but I also know that it's not hard enough.
Yeah, very good question. Let me put it in a simple way. Smart means like I have a team, and I try to delegate things. As a leader, I'm not just managing my performance. I'm managing my team performance as well. So if I see like, okay, this is one of the project and one of my team member has the best fit. One of my team members is best fit for this project. I kind of delegate him rather than I go and work, right? Rather I lead the whole thing, but I connect the right people, right time, and I make sure I influence them positively. Okay, that one example. Second example could be, let's put it like this. If I wanted to go now to Gulshan 2, right? There are multiple ways to do that. I could walk, I could bike, I could take a taxi, but I'll try to make it in a way it's efficient and effective. So maybe I will walk, to be honest, right? So doing innovation is not kind of creating new things, doing things differently that creates value and resilience. So for me, everything I do, I try to take 360-degree context. One of the super important thing when I say smart is connecting both content and context.
Okay.
Many people talks about, for example, I don't talk about relation, but what happened in 570 those time, right? You just can't bring that context now and put the current content and make a comparison. So I try to connect both content and context. So that's what I think is working smart. And of course, utilizing all those tools you have. For example, the way I manage time is I methodically use important and urgent, urgent, not important, not urgent, not important. They're one of the tool I simply use.
4 boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Then another very important things I do is that I never miss deadline. So how do I do that? I organize my work in a way. I set little milestone. So I kind of follow up stuff.
Right. Progression.
Yeah, exactly. Last but not least, as I said, I think as a leader, I really invest to understand the team and best talent. So I could positively allocate those resources in a way you get best out of it.
Wonderful. There are so many things into this, your conversation right now. You said effectiveness, you said efficiency, you said resilience, you said context. So let us unpack a little bit of effectiveness and efficiency and resilience, because to me, I think these are some of the unique qualities. How to become effective, how to become efficient, how to become resilient.
Yeah. So let me start from the last one, resilience. It might sound different, but it's not different in your life as well.
These are the skills.
Yeah. So in my career last 18 years, now it's 19, all of my positions were succeeded by my direct report. আমার টিম মেম্বারই আমার পজিশনটা টেক ওভার করেছে।
এভাবে বলা হয় নিয়ে নিয়েছে, মানে আমরা অনেকে যেটা দেখি মাইন্ডসেট থেকে যে আমার পজিশন আমার টিমে একজন নেবে, ও মাই গুডনেস, নো নো।
সো এটা আমি ক্রিয়েট করেছি। I used to create succession plan. So when you run a company or a department, right, I just don't keep all talents and all information inside me.
Okay.
So I create resilience. I create layers of information accessibility. That's how in every 2 to 3 years I was managed to leave this position and take another position. That's what I mean resilience. I have been creating a lot of backup plan, right? A lot of succession plan, even in plan B and fallback plan. This comes, it's not I have been only writing those. It's more of how you work and how you translate those values and ways of working into your team members. So my team members were so comfortable, they never thought Nizam would be the showstopper. And they were not needed to ask me, can I go and present to CEO? You are the subject matter expert. Go and present to the CEO, right? That's how you create resilience in our organizational settings, and you have succession plan. Effectiveness and efficiency, I wouldn't go and define it, but for me, as I said, effectiveness comes from different angle. That's the final outcome of it, right? If you could be efficient at the cost of something else. Correct. But effectiveness covers both economy and efficiency, right? So I try to make things effective from simple angle. I always carry this principle is win-win situation.
Win-win situation.
Yeah. So you win, I win. I don't go for you win, I lose, or I lose, you win.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't help. Again, those kind of settings and mindset create resilience. Right? Because if you have that mindset in a conversation, in a dealings, be it a customer dealings or be it an interview session, right? It's equally important how an employer recruit a newcomers, right? Because it's important for both of them. If an employer recruits someone who doesn't have enough skills or required skills, let's put it like this, then employer will be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because that employer is risking his business. So to the young fellows and my friends, don't think that employer is or interviewer is asking you questions just to put you in a tough situation. It's not. They wanted to get best out of you and want to really see you make sense for their business. So I would say I have been kind of in an interview session in many countries. In many countries.
Right.
So I learn it, and I still do, is that as an interviewer, you are equally nervous in an interview session. Not just the interviewee should be nervous. Right. So that's what I meant, effectiveness, and I kind of keep it together. I don't separate being efficient or being effective. I think effectiveness is the ultimate result.
Absolutely. So as those who are watching right now, the young professionals or university undergrad, maybe 3rd year or 4th year, all of you want to maybe become a successful leader. Now, since you are the leader of the financial industry and of a company of high-tech, luxurious or fashion, or it's a sophisticated product. So how important it is to understand from the business point of view for a financial people.
Okay. So
because somebody and every one of us, we want to become a leader. So keeping that in a mind.
Business. For me, it's very simple. And that simple is a question you ask yourself, who pays your salary? Customer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So they buy it.
They buy it.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter what technical accounting or finance or design or kind of brand you do, if your customer are not satisfied,
right?
If your customer are not satisfied, you will not have those kind of sales funnel going forward, right? So honestly, my whole career is based on some very simple principle. I don't look at results part to start with. I look at something that create the result. So
enabling factors, right?
Yeah. So exactly. It's more of, let me put it in a context. there are a lot of key performance indicators, KPIs. Everyone talks about it, right? I don't know the percentage, but I could say a huge percentage, could be even 99%. People are looking and reviewing and putting target on lagging KPIs. There is two sort of KPIs. One is leading KPIs
and lagging.
and one other is lagging KPIs. So what is lagging KPIs? Your entire balance sheet, P&L, share price, those are lagging KPIs. Those are results of some of your actions, some of your initiatives that you have done or executed. And what is leading KPIs? Leading KPIs is your customer satisfaction. Leading KPIs is how you were solving and offering a customer experience.
Experience. Very important.
That's what matters. That's what matters. So if you have created some sort of brand, it is just some values. You just can't change it. So as a finance professional, the way I see things is that I try to translate financial information into every format. You are HR or people person, I would translate those financial information in an understood format for you. Same goes with sales. I can give you an example. If I talk with a sales team member, I would talk about, okay, how many units you're talking about? What kind of customer satisfaction we have? Let's talk about the sales funnel, okay? Let's talk about our competition. Let's talk about our customer pain. What is the customer pain points you try to solve? Let's talk about experience. What is customer satisfaction talks about our product? So I try to translate all financial information into business format or commercial format or financial format or marketing format so that my cross-functional stakeholder, he does understand. And to do that, I have to understand the whole process.
Oh, okay.
How your entire value chain works. There is no shortcut. You got to understand every bits of process in that value chain. So that's how I get into this technical stuff. I don't have to understand the design parameter. I don't have to understand gigabytes or all other. I don't think people cares about gigabytes. I think what people cares how that influence your life, how that translate into your day-to-day experience.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So I try to put myself in customer shoes to start with. Then I try to put myself in sales colleague shoes. What information and what support he needs. I think I try to make things simple.
Absolutely. You said one word out of this. If I pick one word, that is, you said value chain.
Yeah.
So as a CFO of a big organization's multi-billion-dollar organization, like be it billion-dollar company or be it a million-dollar company. So value chain. So what do you mean by value chain, and how can a CFO or a finance professional can add value and contribute to the business segment?
Yeah.
So it looks like that you have went across from your finance domain to understand the business, understand the people's psychology, customer psychology, the buying, and all of this. Could you please help us for the young professionals to understand the importance of contribution in the value chain, being a leader?
Okay, let me put it like this in a simpler version, right? Please. So value chain is, you have so many professional, if I talk about title, you have manufacturing, you have supply chain, you have HR, sales, marketing. So starting from manufacturing a product to delivery it to your consumer, the end consumer, is the total value chain of your business.
Okay.
So if you do not understand, doesn't matter what position you are in, be it in finance, be it in HR, you won't be able to talk in a language the way a supply chain professional wants to hear.
Right.
So you won't be able to connect.
All right. Bridge between.
Exactly. So it's very important for every professional to understand the whole value chain of a company in that settings that they do a business.
Correct.
So that's what I mean by value chain.
And that's really wonderful, because we need to add value to each and every individual department, be it sales, marketing, business, finance, logistics, procurement. So as a leader should be able to add value and also connect and bridge between all these things. And then thus you become the true people leader. Let's talk about the people leadership. how can a young professional can build this understanding, the essence, importance of being a people leadership?
Okay, so let me put it in two segments. One is for the new professional
Correct.
who are getting into job or trying to get into job, and another is like who just started off their job.
Right, who can build.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the first part, I would say, the people leadership or the job seeker, the new graduates or going to be graduate, is that if you wanna work in a company, what you should do is that you should try to understand that company's business and associated company's business. For example, if you want to work in a multinational company or we have a lot of good companies, please try to get into their website, subscribe their annual report, and try to understand their whole business and value chain, not just like name, right? And that's how you get used to with the terminology. Every corporate has the different terminology, or you could say jargon kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They do. So once you start talking with that interviewer in their language, they get a kind of good feeling. You are connecting very quickly. It's super important to have the hook with the interviewer. So for the young talent and professionals, I would say invest a lot of time browsing the websites, their product, how their go-to-market, meaning that how they take the product to the customer and consumer, try to understand their annual reports. And if you want to understand globally, there are hundreds of sites. Just click in, they will supply you free annual report. Trust me, I have collected 200 companies' annual report back in 2002. And I didn't pay a single penny because they delivered it, right?
Yeah.
So that's one part. Second part for the young and new talent is that try to have network. Try to understand and have friends in those companies or kind of mentors for those companies, and try to understand how they are kind of working, what kind of criteria they want from a new talent, right? And last but not least, for the young and new talents is that please invest a lot of time writing your resume very professionally and practice interviewing skills. There are hundreds of videos and like articles regarding your interviewing skill. I have come across a lot of them. I think this is one of the area everyone, including myself. I have created in my last interview back in 2018 April. I created around 73 pages of kind of research Apple and how I would connect an example with those questions, right? So nothing comes out shortcut.
Yeah.
Okay. Second part, which is like for the young fellows who are trying to connect with people, is that a simple principle. Please treat your employee, your colleague, the way you want to be treated by your seniors. Very simple principle. The way I see things is that from people point of view, if I have a team member who reports to me, I would treat him the way I want to be treated by my boss. Make life very simple. And I kept saying it like, simple is the most toughest thing to do.
Correct. Yeah.
Making things simple is not easy.
Yeah.
And people fail to make things simple. So that would be my simple and humble advice from my experience. Just treat people the way you want to be treated by others.
Wonderful. Couple of other things that I really want to know from you, that is understanding the local context, and you went beyond the local context to top of the top, like the Europeans and then Scandinavian, which is more sophisticated culture. Their values is different, the norms is different. Tell us something about the importance of cross-cultural things that we as a young could learn and inculcate, so that in a career, day by day is getting challenged. Day by day, we got to work with multicultural, multi-diversified people, Indians, Sri Lankans, Americans, British. So how important it is.
It's the important thing in my career, to be honest, to be culturally not just aware. I would say I was very empathetic.
Okay.
I wasn't sympathetic. I was empathetic with every culture. So I had the true interest to learn their culture. First of all, I would say don't be judgmental. nothing is right, nothing is wrong, nothing is absolute other than Allah. Everything is
Correct.
subjective
Yeah.
and based on
It varies
context.
from the angle to
Exactly,
angle. Yeah.
exactly. Something to you could be excellent. For me, it's okay.
Yeah.
It may not be excellent.
Right.
Because, you see, it varies with your context. So the way I see the cultural adaptation is that try to take the positive things. And you are not the one who are employed or who are asked to judge people.
Yeah.
Why you judge people? Why you are being subjective? Most of the cases, I talk positive about our young friends and fellows and young generation. I would say when you follow West like Europe and US, follow the things they do. After 18 years, they don't take any money from their family.
Correct.
They live by themselves, meaning that they do part-time work. During summer, they work hard and earn their money to spend and invest and party maybe, right?
Correct.
So that's the positive part of it. But we don't see that, right? So second important thing is that honestly, if you invest time understanding other culture, that will enrich your understanding, that will enrich your views, how you should see things, and it will widen your perspective.
Okay.
For example, if you haven't been to Cox's Bazar or Chittagong, you never have seen an ocean. So for you, maybe a pond is sort of ocean. You haven't seen an ocean, right? When you keep widening your perspective, you have a big kind of spectrum. You are not limited to some sort of confinedness. So I think be open to the culture. You don't have to take culture that you don't have to take in everything and follow them.
Yeah.
You follow your values.
Yeah.
You kind of rule your life the way you want to. But nothing harms if you are aware. So that way you could easily do it. You just do some Google and YouTube, what sort of cultural values you have in China, in US. What is the leadership style in Europe, for example, in Japan. I think those help you widening your perspective.
Very good. So that leads towards another very interesting topic, interesting things, interesting skill also. You said widening the perspective. So how do we widen our perspective? It's actually nothing physical, nothing physically that we could do, right? This is inside. Yeah. This is something inside. This is mind oriented. So would you please help us for the young, fresh graduates and professionals, this mind perspective? Like today, how important it is to have widened, open and growth mindset so that...
Yeah, okay. It's a very good question, and I can connect it back with my personal life. Back in 96, 97, I think, 98, that time we haven't had internet at home like that we do now. Right. Back, I mean, then maybe you could remember there has been a lot of cyber cafes.
Right.
And there was like BD chat, Yahoo chat. So the way I started, I wasn't doing chat just to know, being very young, right? Know some girls or guys or something what actually doesn't add values for my professional career. So I was very positive, and I was chatting with that counterpart and understanding their culture and knowledge and how they operate in a social setting. So I think that widened my kind of environment and my perspective to see things differently. So my take, how you know things, is that be open and honestly open. When you mean by open, be open. Don't be judgmental. And one thing I must admit is that unfortunately, we, including myself, we try to be expert in everything. Okay. Meaning that I talk about politics, I talk about cricket, I talk about football, I talk about internet speed, I talk about everything. Why? Why do you have to have an opinion on everything? Why? You are not subject matter expert about politics.
Yeah.
You are maybe subject matter expert in like strategy, right? So I would say just take a step back. Take a step back. and don't talk. I wouldn't say don't talk. I would say you should be the last one to talk. In many settings and many like HR guys and people and strategy builders say like, keep quiet in a meeting room is the best thing. But I don't say that's the best thing. You should be the one who talk last. Meaning that you take in. Keep yourself, listen, not to answer. Right?
Right.
So
listen to understand.
Exactly. So long story short, I would say, my friend, I am not subject matter expert in everything. I am subject matter expert when it comes to finance, when it comes to running a business, especially commercial part. So I should not talk about or be a subject matter expert or pretend like a subject matter expert who does sales. I don't do sales.
Correct.
I was more sales support.
Yeah.
Meaning that when you go and open your perspective internationally, don't just like, why people drink.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Why people dance. That's their culture. Then they would ask you, why do you slaughter cows? Right? Because it's religious stuff and it's super important for me. Now I'm a very religious person, but not at the cost of hurting other values.
That's most important.
Right? So you don't have to take in, just listen in and listen in to understand, not to answer. That will widen your perspective.
What a wonderful way of putting things easy. But this is not easy at all, but this needs to inculcate, this needs to build inside, because it's the open-mindedness, it's the open mindset that matters most today. We are going to finish the conversation, and if anything that you think today our young talents and young professionals and university graduate can start building inside to face the fourth industrial revolution, because today in ever-changing and constant changing environment of technology, business, and how we operate, how we think and how we function in every role. So because tomorrow is totally unpredictable. We don't know even what's going to happen. So how to prepare best?
Yeah, thank you. I mean, honestly, maybe 5G will bring that changes in life as we speak. There are simple way to think, which is like a lot of people or business analysts, they think everyone is building factories in China because of to have lower cost. It's not true. It's because of demand. Right? They have 1.4 billion, I think, right? 1.4 billion people, and their purchasing power is increasing every year, like, by 10-20%. So what I'm trying to say is that Bangladesh has enormous opportunity. Every day, purchasing power of this country are increasing. People are buying stuff. People are offering services, and life expectancy is around 72 years or even over. Meaning that this country will be a must successful country going forward because we have that demand.
Correct.
Where you have a demand, there will be supply as well. So Bangladesh, first of all, you are in the right place. That's in Bangladesh. There will be at least 10-20 years down the line, this country will grow and grow. Right? So for the young talent and professional, I would say, have your vision ready. And how you will create your vision, listen to your heart and try to focus somewhere you really think you can contribute. You shared your story, like, you are not settling in. You thought like, your potential is more to connect people and help the community, right? So if you find something like that, just go for that. Don't settle for something that you don't like.
Correct.
You have a very small life, right? 73 years, if I take the average life expectancy, right? And then in that 73 years, you got to do something, like Steve Jobs said, every day you wake up and look at the mirror and say, if today is my last day of my life, what I could have done. Take every day like that. So get yourself prepared, create your career plan, and make all baby step. Don't try to jump from here to there. Take every baby step, and while taking the step, make sure you create resilience. You create resilience, and you try to connect the dots that you, that you left behind. How those small experiences and learning is helping you in everything you do. I'll give my last job experience, how I gotten this Apple job may create some perspective for you guys. Back in 2014, when I went to Sweden and working in Ericsson, I participated in a finance analyst forum where second layer or like CFO of companies have been participating. Then I was talking about some global trend of technologies and how finance profession is kind of coping up with those technologies. Then one of the guy was there, somehow he liked me. So in 2018, when I applied for a job in Apple, I just saw like, this guy is in my network in LinkedIn. And I just talked with him maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And he saw me while talking there. And he immediately responded to me and said, are you sure you want to join in Apple? I said, yeah. He just joined 2 months back. Then he said to HR, that this guy is fantastic. He is so smart. Give him an opportunity to face the interview. Then I competed with Inter Europe, some 27 countries, and I got in the job. So what I wanted to say is that everything you do has an impact.
Yeah.
So don't just do things thinking around is that it will not create anything for you. You can't connect the dot looking forward, but you can connect the dot looking backward. That day, if I would not have talked professionally, if I would not have talked with that guy, he is 3 positions junior to me. It's not he's senior to me. Okay?
Yeah.
And that single event has created that opportunity for me. So if I summarize, everything you do, please think the impact of that doing can bring in your life. You may not be able to connect forward, but look backward and reflect. Spend some time reflecting on the things you have done and how that impacted others. Last but not least, I would say it's super important to create some sort of belongingness with your family, with your friends, and make others comfortable. And maybe tomorrow or a day after, someone will come and pick you up and say, like, this guy, he exactly knows how to make things comfortable and how to, stand out among the crowds and say, I'll be the last man standing. Last thing I would say, I think I have a dream that speech, right? That day when Martin Luther King has had that session, there wasn't any social media.
Correct.
There wasn't any micings or announcement or anything. Why 100,000 people
Turned on?
Why? Yeah. Because he didn't say like, I will sell a dream. He said, I have a dream. And when your dream, my dream, others' dream connect, you come together and do something great. Long story short, you should plan for something that you dream for and you believe in for. Don't just copy and paste someone else's life.
Correct.
Listen to your heart, go for it. Thank you very much.
What a wonderful way of transferring, I would say, rather knowledge, wisdom, feelings, the philosophy. It's from the heart and from the mind. And one of the couple of most important thing that you said last is the network. And today, truly, your network is going to determine your net worth. So what you are going to be is an average of 5 people that you mix, 5 friends that you associate, and 5 people that you have. So increase your network, and also quality of the network determines who you want to become. It's not the number also, it's the quality as well. So this is something that if you want to inculcate, you can change. At the same time, the behavioral aspect, what are the behaviors, the values, you most talked about the values that you have. Look, so the things, the value can contribute, probably the hard skill can't. That's what we understood. Exactly, yeah. So why not think into different perspective? This is also different perspective, because we knew probably, or you might thought, is the grade, is the result, is the top of the top, university is the degrees, but the values, the culture, the mindset, that actually plays also the most significant role. Yeah. That's what I have learned. That's what I have, my takeaway, my key takeaway. If I want to further build, I would build certain things, the values, the ethics, the principles, the commitment, one of the other things that you actually come back to your, where you committed before, not after. So keep your commitment. So what I learned from this also, that helps to, create the trust, because you have done nothing but created the trust between all the employees and also the stakeholders. And also you created, facilitated the others to go up from the ladder, and you also went up. Now, this is also one of my key takeaway. We do not want to give positions. We think that this is mine, and but what I learned from you is that you created the position for others, and then you went up, and then you created the position for others. So that is what we call succession planning. So planning and also creating and facilitating, giving them and hand-holding them to that, because you said that you given them free access to the CEO or CFO, wherever they want. So this is what we also need to keep in mind. In today, actually things has changed. The perspective has been changed that we probably know or knew. So that is kind of my key takeaway from the conversation. And again, I want to give you my earnest gratitude, and I'm grateful to you.
Thank you very much. It's
for
my
your
pleasure.
Time and effort and everything. I know that you came back just from Sweden, and how important time it is for you to have with your families and knowns. So, but yet for you, I persuaded him to be here. I thank you.
And I love the session. Thank you very much. As I said, if I can influence one person positively, I think I'm super happy about it.
You have done it already. So I'm sure. So this is also another thing, that influence, impact, and contribute. It's not only the resources that you answer. It's not the money that talks, because he got offer 3 times more.
Yeah, the way I see is like good is the enemy of great. I don't just do things to have a simple good. I do things to create the best out of my capabilities, out of my knowledge and experience. So I keep saying no to many things that I don't think I can influence. And if I'm being able to influence, I'll make a big difference. That's why I keep saying to know many things.
This is another key takeaway, because I'm summarizing for you. And this is not the finance or the stocks. It is one of the criteria, but not the criteria to be considered. So life is all about creating influence, impact, and contribution. And I hope and believe that you can design your career looking into that overall context that is overarching the goal. Let's have a meaningful purpose, and that purpose can define who you want to become tomorrow. I wish you all the very best. And again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Stay well. Take care.